What's going on, everybody? This is Ed Talks, and we have my holy grail in my hands. This is a used copy of the Solo Chogokin GX-31V VOLTES 5 Respect for Volt in a box. Now, this was released in December of 2008, but it was actually, I think, released officially in 2009. So it came out the end, so most people say it came out in 2009. This is the second release for the Solo Chogokin VOLTES 5 figure. The first one of the VOLTES 5 that came out in 2006. So this is a pretty old figure, but it's, probably stood the test of time. Now, this set mimics the Chogokin release. So every toy has the markings of whatever their vehicle designation number is. So number 1 would be Volt Cruiser, number 2 would be Volt Bomber, number 3 Volt Panzer, number 4 Volt Frigate, and then number 5 would be the Volt Lander. So the markings on this toy is, outstanding. Like, it's almost like you got the original Chogokin toy. I prefer this release. Now, of the 3 releases, there is a 4th. We haven't gotten it yet. Of the releases, what's special about this one is they did improve on the tolerances, but not really. It's still kind of, you got some issues there. We gotta talk about that when it comes out. But we're gonna get more of him. So the new VOLTES 5 that's coming out, I think it's supposed to be like the best of the best. Everything's fixed completely. This one has improved tolerances, but it's not as improved as the 40th anniversary. And of course, the original, should you try to get that one, it does not stand up. And if you think this one is going to look floppy when I pick it up, the original is super floppy. Yes. And I've actually held the original years ago. Somebody bought it at an anime convention, right? Even out the package, it was brand new. It was loose, but still, just looking at VOLTES 5 and that, it's awesome, But this is the one I wanted, and we'll scroll my camera down a little bit, and here they are. Now, before you go crazy on me and talk smack, yes, I took off those yellow things so they keep popping off, and well, I prefer the Volt Bomber or V2 looking like this anyway. So we're going to start with the first one. And look at those details on here. This is basically the head. I think these wheels move. I'm not sure. They don't feel like they do. I'm not going to try to roll it. And you can see the head right there. And then there's another landing gear. But look at all the markings. Everything is painted to the nines. This is very, it's cool to the touch because it's made of metal. So I'm gonna put that down for a second. Now this is the V2 Bomber. I know I should have it looking different, but I like it this way. Okay, it's my review. And basically there's the cockpit in the middle, and you can see, the little yellow. So there's supposed to be little yellow pieces that go in there, but I actually got to open this box, and I do got to open this box to get the rest of the weapons out. So, I just left it out. And you can see it here. We'll probably use it when we do the bomber tank mode. But you can see it here. This is really nice looking. There's the markings, the V2. There's the other V2 on the head. Not the head, but near the cockpit. And there's markings here in the front. It just looks really nice. Very, it's, you can tell it's been well played with. It's a little loose here, but I like it. So let's move on to number 3, which is the Panzer tank. And with the Panzer tank, he actually has real rolling treads, and that's a nice touch. They didn't even do that for the Solo Chogokin Megazord, which I hope that gets a revision, because that needs a revision. And you got this middle piece. It says, volts on the front with the V, so it's VOLTES 5. And like I said, it's a very nice bright blue, but it's got that outline. And there's the number 3 on the front, and there are the little claw things, and they extend, and they do stuff like Pac-Man. Yabba yabba. but it's really nice. Really, really nice. And there's the back, you know. Again, really nice, really nice, really nice. And then we go to V4, Volt Frigate. This is actually one of my favorites, just looking at him. Now, he's got some little extra pieces that go there, but to be honest with you, I hate losing those. They are in the second tray of the box, where they should be, because like I said, if I leave this in the open, I'm going to lose it, you know. And I don't want to lose those little parts, because maybe one day I might sell it and somebody wants it, and, you know, I've got all the little parts. But basically, it should have little antennas coming out, you know. Basically, that's what it should do. And then finally, we have Voltlander. Now, Voltlander is pretty cool. It's probably one of the weirdest looking vehicles. This thing reminds me so much of like 1/3 of the iRugger 15. You know, the way that it looks and the parts. So these are the feet. Again, if you saw my review for the mini action, but this one has spring-loaded wheels, and they do roll. See it from the bottom here. And in the front, they got these drills, which are the feet. That's the double cockpit. And there are these things that stick out. And they're supposed to be like little shuriken-looking antenna that stick out from there. But like I said, again, knowing me, in little tiny parts like that, I would lose it. So they'll stay in the box. But I will show that later on when we go to pull out some of the other accessories, because there's a lot of accessories that I probably don't know how to form in the hand. But yeah, this is actually, I really do like this. And like I said, you can see the writing, Voltlander, Volts, you know, there's these markings that just, these would be like stickers if this was like the old original Chogokin. And you even see from the back, it says V5 and Volts. Oh, did I show them off on the Frigate? I don't know why I'm saying Frigate, but no. And those old stickers, they look like stickers, but they're not, man. That's what makes it so cool. That's V4. Let's see. There's a 4 on the side. I mean, these are only on the toy. They weren't like on the show. They didn't really have like 4 and 5. And there it says the name of the vehicle again. Volt Frigate. Frigate. And that's it. So what else did we get with the box? Let's move the box out of the way. Nice and easy. So we got this mess, honka mess. Don't worry about the honka mess. It's there. It's there. It's there. It's there. It serves its purpose. So we're gonna get other parts that we left in the box. And if everybody wants to see, you know, what the box looked like, they ain't gonna see it because it's too far away. So, you know, if you're ever familiar with the, usually I think they do it with the first and second releases. You get the kind of thing that mimics like how it would look in a Chogokin box in Japan. I always loved that. And, you know, so like when you put the styrofoam parts in, you know where everything goes and everything like that. And these were some of the weapons that were in the front here. As you can tell, I really haven't explored all of it. These form that, I call it the knuckle buster. I could be calling it something else because, you know, I'm not good with remembering names. But you could create the weapon with these things right here, because you could tell I have not taken them out today. I don't want to. And then these were the extra parts that I left out, and I'll show you in a second. Let's see. See, I didn't even take this out the box yet. So you know, I'm still like brand new. And that's the Imperial Family Aircraft, and it's labeled, and that's, I mean, look at that. I mean, everything's just labeled. On the original release, this is red. So that's another reason why you should get this set, because there's different paint jobs. That the other three are all the same. You know, the other three are all the same. So we'll put that there too. And this is plastic. There's like really no metal in it, but it's good, high quality plastic. You know, again, you can look at it. Basically looks like a bomber turned bird. And then these are the parts that I left out from the V2 vehicle that I need to show you how they work. So basically you just push that up and push that up, and then just make sure to push the arms back, and then you just put that on, and that's it. So you can mimic what's on the box. So basically it's like, I think on the first release you could slide the fists out, but on the second one they made it with a new mechanism where the fists go in, and you're going to see that when we do the transformation, but this is how it would actually look. There are wheels, again, that go on the bottom here, because there's a landing gear right there that comes out, and I forgot to show that, and there are wheels that go, I believe, right here, but I'm not, like I say again, they're so tiny, I'd be afraid to lose it, so I try to mimic using as many small parts as possible. So just so you'll get an understanding of how everything looks. Now we're going to push these to the back for a second before we go into the next transformation, which is going to be the Volt tank, which is basically kind of like it just sits on its arms. That's the other thing. If you get the first release of this, you cannot do the Volt tank mode. It starts with this release, and all subsequent releases can do the Volt tank mode. So we're gonna, I believe this is the attachment for the weapon. So I told you, man, I am brand new to this. That's gonna be a slightly long review. This is the extra chest piece for when you use the sword, and I'll explain that part in a moment. So let's let you know where we are. So we're just getting all the extra parts out. And again, you know, like I said, I may or may not go through all of the weapons, because like I said, I'm just afraid of losing it. But these are the other stuff that I don't really mess with. And these are the, this is the accessories. There's that beautiful sword. This part right here creates that weapon, which you're going to see that. These are the extra landing gear parts, the missile hand or missile hand there. There's the chain spear weapon, and then there's the gun, but I mainly like the sword because I'm a sword guy. And I think the guy gave me the other parts, and these are the other parts. He never, and the guy that I bought it from, he never took them off. And that's smart, because you really don't need to take these off. Like, why would you need to do that? I mean, just to show it off. And those are the missiles. They're never going to take those out of the package. You know, that'll probably be like the selling point. Oops, sorry about my camera. That'll be the selling point if I ever sell this. You know, like, hey, I got all the mini parts. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to do the transformation to Volt tank mode. Guess what? I've never done it. So we're doing it live. Actually, we'll do that. All right, so y'all can have a laugh. We're gonna be like, well, you got a toy, you didn't play with it? Dude, this thing was $400. I ain't breaking this thing for the love of God. If I break this thing, I would cry. I would cry. You know how long I waited to get this from a local seller in Japan? Man, shoot. Screw you. I love my subscribers, but not enough to break a toy. I ain't got to that. Let me just put it this way. I have not even got to that level of doing stuff yet where I'm just like, yeah, I could just break that. It's no problem. No problem. Yeah. Big problem. So I think we start here. This is what I saw on previous reviews. And I want to do the tank mode first because we're going to spend the rest of the time in the robot. So this comes apart. And these fold down, and I guess they fold that way and that way. And these actually close up because there's no way that they're going to be able to do anything with these, you know. There we go. And I believe I'm supposed to take these wheels off. Am I? Do they come off? Actually, no. They don't really come off. Well, Yeah, they're sticking up. So, you know, that's bad when you can look at the box and go, yeah, they're sticking up. And everything does fit in place kind of snug. Like I said, you see how the legs are just kind of like falling all over the place? Because the tolerances aren't as, you know, good as the next release. The next release is, like I said, 40th anniversary has much better tolerances than this. So we're 50% of a tank here. So, you know, just to let you know. And I wanna do the tank mode first. I really do. So, all right. So we gotta look at the next thing, which is gonna be the chest. So the chest, because it has the longer wheels, and I fold that back, and then fold that back, because this is really where it's supposed to stand, I believe. And I could be wrong, but I think these extend a little further than that, than what we're doing right now. So hold on in one moment here. Back from stupidity. So these actually extend. Aha! I almost broke it. So when you do that, what that does, now it makes sense. And I was like, how this thing's supposed to fit, man? So basically, now we could fold these down again. And of course we get to make the, you know, get the chest. I always get this wrong. So is it that way or this way? Tricky. Let's fold it back. And there's the click. And it doesn't stay together well. And this part always scares me. Alright, so it's a tank, man. This is the tank. We're almost there. Like, y'all think I'm joking? That's the tank, man. That's the tank. At least you think of like No Limit. Nah. We're doing everything off camera, man. Everything off camera. Sorta. So now, this is about how you make the robot mode. And like I said, look at all those markings. And then this is the tank, man. And you take the arms, then you gotta unfold those. And these are sickening, man. Let me just tell you, they're sickening, man. Just don't. These are things, they feel like they're gonna break, and they don't. One side always never wants to go in on the other side. Like it's the most painful thing in the world. And these always come out, man. I'm sick of them things coming out. That's why I keep them in the box. And they're gonna do the same thing over here. You're probably like, that's the worst Volts review I ever seen in my life. Yeah, it is. It's the worst. But we gonna have some fun. Because it's toys, man. That's what we do. We play with toys. We're not perfectionists here, you know. So, it's a tank. And finally you put, you know, my man up here. I always love these. I always love like the little jet. That's like the little guy. And make sure you fold that back. Because if you don't, and this is held on by it, that's a magnet. And it goes in that hole right there. Okay. And we have VOLTES 5 tank mode. Well, almost got the tank mode. Because there's something else that we got to do. You know, we got to put the little jet on the top here. So, because he fits on here. And there's supposed to be like a little part that you got to put in there to make him form. And I got to find that part. I'll be right back in just a moment. Alright, I'm back and I found the piece. So it's really two pieces. There's the, this is why I hate these little pieces. So it's a little piece that goes here. This is the control module for VOLTES 5. And it kind of goes in like that. And then this piece right here connects to this. And then what you do is, well, you're supposed to open this up, and he kind of just attaches that way, and that's the Volt tank. Let's move that out the way. And well, it's just the robot sitting on itself. It's basically what it is. It rolls. It rolls. It's weird, but it rolls, man. It do what it do. But I'm gonna tell you now, I love the markings. I love the markings. This thing has some very nice markings. This is why you want respect in a box, because respect for V or volts 5, whatever you want to call it, has these beautiful markings. And it's a tank coming down the street. All right, so we're gonna take this off, and I like this, man. I really do like this set. So basically, we are at robot mode. Are we? Yes, we are. So we just gonna do just like this, and just gonna fold the feet down. I'm gonna do the same thing over here. Fold the feet down and lock them into place. And what we're gonna do next is take these. How are we gonna take this out for a second? Take this off. I'm going to take that off for a second. And why did I take those off? Because you actually have to put these tank treads back in a proper position. Because if you don't, it's hard to swing them down when they're connected. And I like that they do that, because some people leave them hanging off like that. I prefer not to. So I'm gonna make sure we cover that, and we're gonna put it back on. And again, you get to see the transformation. Let's see. Boom. I mean, this thing is sturdy, man. It's sturdy. Whew, boy, I tell you, it's scary, man. It's scary to play with. Believe me. So you don't want to break it. And then you do like that, and then the arms, you know, they just come out into place, and you can do the double elbow. And he's pretty big. It's pretty big. And then finally, the head. Now, again, the head has, you know, the lighting effects on it. And I'm not going to be able to go too much further because my camera battery is running out. So forgive me if I leave out a few things. And voila, we'll take those off, because these parts do go off. And we're going to pop in the fists. And they come separate, and there are these extra parts that are like the pegs. The reason why I'm leaving them the way they are, so I know exactly which fist, because they go in a certain way. And I don't want to mess it up. So they go in like that. I think I had this upside down, or I was doing some crazy pose. But we now have volts 5. And this thing is just beautiful. Oh my God. It's just, oh, it's gorgeous. This is Solar Chogokin at its finest. And I'm going to tell you something right now, that this set right here, my color profile is not going to bring this out enough, man. I mean, it's not. I'm going to try to zoom in on that head, man. Let's get a good look at that. Look at that. I mean, that is nice. But you can't see it here. But, man, I always loved the look of Volts 5, because he always looks meaner than all the other two. You know, he just looks like he's going to beat your behind. And like I said, due to battery constraints, because of all the hoopla I had to go through with these tiny, tiny batteries in this camera, this hand, and we're going to pop that out. Pop out this fist. Which, Whew. I said that the original design had. And this is the sword. And this actually comes off and forms a sword, because that's where the sword's supposed to come from. But I mean, to be honestly, I don't know if he'd win a fight with this sword. This is like a prop sword. He'd be like, yeah, he's not going to win a fight. So when you using this sword, so that you can mimic that, they give you this extra piece that you can just put in here. And that looks pretty nice. That looks pretty nice. And yes, he's posable. Now he does lean forward. The legs are a little loose. But the thing is, no waist articulation again due to the design. But the thing is he has better tolerances than the first one. So we're just going to get straight into the final thoughts, because I don't really have much of a choice here. Let me bring my camera back. So this is the sword that comes with it, and there are other weapons here. But haha, psych, we ain't done yet. We got to go over some of these weapons, man. You thought I was going to leave this review like that? Nah, I'm a completist. Let's go. So we got the Chogokin string with the Chogokin goma attached to it. So I'm going to show you how that works. And really, I'm not going to put it in his hands. Like I said, I'm trying not to open up too many of these parts, because, like I said, the person that sold this to me kept everything together. So basically, when you put it together, kind of goes like that. And you want to look, I got to look at this one again because parts came out. So the first thing that you want to do is make sure that you plug this piece in. And you're going to see it right here. It's going to go right there. And actually, I think I got it backwards. Yep, I do. That's okay. So that kind of holds it in place. So you can see it right there. Kind of holds it in place. And then you're going to take these little parts. This is why I don't like taking out too many of these parts when I do it for the review and they're going back. And you just kind of press everything together, and you got the Chogokin string and the goma, you know, the little spinning weapon. And it's plastic, and it's got small parts, and it's going to fly everywhere. But these are the weapons that it comes with. And then after that, of course, you got the Gatling missiles, which we have kept. We're not taking those out. And that's a chain. This is a chain mace weapon, or the chain knuckle. And you could kind of have it. Excuse me. Shouldn't have drank too many beers today. So we're going to take that out for a second. Take this off. And this actually goes in like this. Oops. And it's supposed to look like you're firing it off. See? It's like. See that? You were dead. You were shocked. That's what I feel like saying. Then, if you want to make it look like you're firing it, you want to take this off. You're going to take that off, and that goes in there like that. And see, there's this little, it actually, I don't know if it'll do it, but it's got a spring in it. See? It's supposed to be able to shoot it off. So when you put it in here, and I think I did that wrong. I think I did that wrong. And I think I'm supposed to be able to shoot it off into space. So you can see he can do that as well. And I'm probably not going to try to do it because I don't want to break it. Oh, there it goes. See? Pause. And now we're back. So we had to fix a few things. And let's continue. Boy, this video is getting a lot of edits. Next up is the VOLTES bazooka. So when I had to fix the problem with the missile that's shooting out at me, I thought I'd decide to go ahead and just put this part on and continue on. Battery seems to want to hold for a few more seconds. So basically, it's a cannon that fits in here, and you put a fist there. And then he pretends like he's holding it like a bazooka, but his arm is the bazooka. And because of the articulation there, as you can see, and we'll get in a little closer, he's able to do that. See, and it looks pretty good. I mean, you know, man, that is neat. I mean, you know, wow, this set is amazing. Just, yeah, the mini action can't even do that. So let's continue on, and we're gonna take this out, and then this is the last part here, which is this missile hand that goes in, and we're gonna put that in. And you know, he could pretend like he's firing missiles at you. You know, let's put the arms down, and there's the missile hand, and the missile hand will fire missiles. Yay for that. So that's pretty much everything that we have for this set, and I'm gonna say yes, you should buy this for $400. If you can, this was $400. You might can get it for cheaper. You should buy this. Like, this thing's got everything in it, and I didn't want to end this video without showing it off, but man, let me tell you, man, I've been playing with this thing. Well, I've been playing with this thing, man. I just, and if you want to see, you know, real quickly, because we gotta move fast, how this sword is beautiful. This thing makes me think of so I gotta do the review for him next one day. I gotta get used to doing solo Chogokin reviews. There's so much stuff that you gotta include in the video, and I think my whole battery have to go on that. It just have to go on that. But the what I was about to say. But the weapons on this thing is so many weapons. It's just so many. And he put the sword in his hand. Oh yeah, that's right. I wanted to compare it to something. Let's see. I wanted to compare it to a leader class figure. So let's move all this stuff out the way. And like I said, I really hate weapons being out. So it goes against my OCD. But this is a true leader class. I'm not talking about today's leader classes. That's not a leader class. I'm talking about a leader class back when leaders were leaders. And this is Takara Legend 6-shot. And they are pretty much head for head. So I would say he's the size of a leader. Masterpiece. This is one of my toys that I don't play with too often. So I have both versions of 6-shot. Anyway, yeah, leader size. The true leader size. You know, which is probably commander size now. So you get my point. They do kind of match up. And like I said, my OCD is kicking in because I hate leaving accessories out. The last, of course, the little mini guy. He's pretty tall. Like I said, he's deluxe size. He would be leader size. So just so you can get an idea. And like I said, this thing weighs probably about 20 pounds more than that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe even more. But their weapons are really nice. Like I said, this is how VOLTES 5 would look in the show. These colors, and this is what he would look like if the Chogokin toy. Just so you know. So final thoughts with this bamboo looking sword. Get VOLTES 5, man. Get the Solar Chogokin VOLTES 5. You will not be disappointed. You will be extremely happy. Like I've been playing with this thing since I took it out the box and finally got the nerve to transform it, because I still haven't even touched my Scorpionaut. Oh goodness, man, I keep picking this thing up, man. I just keep picking this thing up. And I know it's used, but you know, it looks like it was in a good home. Every weapon was there. Of course, they worked. I have no words except like I said, if you're on a budget, you can get that one. But if you're not, if you're willing to throw some money, you can either if you can get a pre-order for it, try to get a pre-order of the new one. If you can't, try to get a used Solar Chogokin VOLTES V. You know, shop around, be careful, make sure all the parts are there. But like I said, if you want to do the Volt tank, you're gonna need to at least get this release or the 40th anniversary. But if you just want a Volts 5 in your collection and you want the Solo Chogokin, then get the first release. Like I said, and again, I probably said it back a few clips ago, the tolerances on it are very bad. These are better. The 40th anniversary is best. So this is Ed Talk saying buy this, buy that, but get this or that, or get both. Either way, you're going to be so happy if you get this set, especially if you get the Respect. If you get the Respect set, you got to get the Respect set. You have to get the Respect in a box. Respect for Volt in a box. You got to get it. You just got to get it. All right. I'm done. Have a good night.